Hello, homeschool boss moms. How are you? Kara Mendez here. I am your intuitive business coach exclusively for homeschooling entrepreneurs. And today I am here with a Q&A. So we had a question asked last week in the group from Cheryl, and she said, too many kids. I feel I can't adequately support them emotionally and physically and work on my career to the level that I would like to. And to that, I say, I get it. And I have some insights for you. So, well, first I want to say that yes, we all go through times where we just feel inadequate. I have 5 kids. And they need me a lot. And sometimes it's just downright overwhelming. And then other days I'm like, I got this shit. So here is what I do. And here's what has worked for me. And here is how I support my clients that I work with one-on-one in tackling this exact same challenge. So first I want to say that a big part of this is mindset. Okay, I feel like my camera is like funky. Okay, it's because it's turned to a different direction. Okay, that's fine. So the mindset piece of this is really that like inner knowing, trusting, and believing that you are enough as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a homeschooler, that you are enough. And when you trust that whenever I am in that place of scarcity and lack, right? Where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm failing. I'm not meeting their needs. I'm not growing my business fast enough like I want to. The list goes on, right? Well, when I come from that place, I literally am like losing my mind, right? Like everything's falling apart, and then the downward spiral just begins. So what I have to do to pull myself out of that and to go into the upward spiral is I have to remember that this is from a very spiritual level. My children chose me. They chose me for all of the wonderful things that I am to give to them and for all of their lessons that they are meant to learn, right? So whenever I remember that, then I also remember that I can do this, that I'm enough, that I'm perfect, and I'm doing just what I need to be doing right now. Because we can only be doing what we're doing with where we are and what we have, right? Like we're always doing our best. And I'm always doing my best, and you are too. You're always doing your best, even when it feels like you're not. Because you're always giving the best with where you are, with what you have in this very moment, okay? So this is where the grace comes in. This is where it's like extending yourself some grace. Okay. And giving yourself some compassion and like maybe taking a minute and writing out everything that you are doing right? Because it's really easy to focus on what we're doing wrong or not enough. And let's just first say that who determines what's not enough or is enough? You do, right? Nobody else. This is what you decide. So is that an expectation that you need to shift? You might. Very likely you probably do. I find that women like us who are highly driven, who have a huge purpose in this world, and who are also mothers and also have chosen to take on home education, that we're a different breed, okay? That we can do more than many, and often to a detriment. So, and then we have this, and we also often have extraordinarily high expectations of ourselves that may or may not be realistic. Probably not as realistic as we would like, right? So, okay. So with that, I want to say when you're feeling like you're not enough, the first thing you have to do is get your mind right, get in that journal, get those affirmations going. You can like vomit out all of the things that you feel like are going wrong in your life first and terrible and how you suck and all of that, right? Like sometimes that's how we feel, right? Then when you dump all of that out and you can read it on paper, then it kind of starts to sound like, then it like looks a little crazy, and that's okay. Like this is how our minds work, right? There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly normal, and this is good. This is just a process. This just means there's things that need to come up for healing's sake and maybe some limiting beliefs that need to be cleared. So then I like to go in and do some affirmations and get yourself back into that empowered place. That place where you're standing in your power and you know that you can do this and you're strong. Hey, Cheryl, this is for you, girl. I'm so glad you're on. Okay, so after we get all of the stories that we've made up about how we're not enough out in our journal, then you can go into the affirmations, right? I actually have a really great affirmation audio for this. I'll drop the link below. Hey, Kelly. And it's called What the Fuck to Zen in 10, right? Because we go through this, like 1 minute we're like, oh, what the fuck, I'm failing. And oh my God, this is crazy. I don't know if I could do this. And then the next minute you're like, okay, wait, let me go like meditate and hold my crystals and put my essential oils on, right? And then you're like, get back to your Zen. Maybe you go do some yoga or run or Cheryl, I know you bike. So you go to your happy place, right? And you get yourself Zen. So I love doing affirmations for this. It can totally change my whole mood around. And if you looked at my journal, it's literally just like the process that I just explained. It's a lot of like regurgitating all of the stories out, all the limiting beliefs out, and then going into my reframe, what I call a reframe process. And that's where I come in with my affirmations and I positively restate any of those old stories or limiting beliefs that I noticed coming out. Okay. So it might be something like, I'm whole, complete, and perfect just the way I am. Sometimes it's just a matter of, oh, good. I'm glad you had a good run today. Cheryl, I actually love doing affirmations while I run. It's like, or walk. I'm not running these days. My knees are injured, but I do it while I walk. But when I first started affirmations, I used to run all the time and I would literally just recite affirmations the entire time I would run. It was so awesome. So, so you can build your affirmation process into the things that you're already doing. Okay. So affirmations, I'm whole, complete, and perfect just the way I am. Like sometimes you're just like, you know what? I fucking got this shit. Like I can do this. Maybe you identify like one little tweak that you can make in your life to just, sometimes just telling yourself, I am meeting the emotional and physical needs of my children. Instead of how can I do it? You're just like, I am doing it. I am doing it. And just in stating that, you allow this different energy to come into you and you just handle everything with so much more ease and so much grace. And then it doesn't feel like you're being met with resistance. It doesn't mean you're not going to have challenging times. You will. But it means that you get to shift your perspective on how you view those challenges, right? I mean, because where would we be without challenges? We would never grow, right? So you could turn in towards gratitude. What are you grateful for? And again, Cheryl, I think you missed it, but in the beginning I said, make a list of what you're doing right already, right? And your children chose you for a reason, soul contract, right? And that's just powerful in and of itself. Okay, so physically, so the physical demands of children, and Cheryl, I believe you have 4 kids. Um, yes, it can be so intense sometimes. Yes, Kelly, perspective is everything. You're right. So, what I found is self-care, 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 right? So when you're feeling a little burnt out and you're feeling a little overwhelmed and you're feeling like I can't fucking do this anymore, because you will have those times, we all do. Then literally sometimes I will just go and like lay down in my room and just be like, I just need to breathe for a few minutes. And just like laying down is so, Cheryl, you know this because you're a chiropractor, but it's so calming to the nervous system. So I literally will just, sometimes I'll just like go lay down on my yoga mat on the floor and just like let my body know, like, it's okay. You're safe. And that just helps, right? But you can do things like alternate nostril breathing. You could start maybe doing like like you do a lot of like hardcore exercise. I don't know how you're balancing that with any kind of restorative work. So I don't know if you're, doing baths. Maybe you could do okay, that's funny. Cheryl says my teenager's listening with me and he says he would have chose someone rich. Well, tell him his soul wanted something different. Tell him maybe in the next lifetime. No, you're on your way. You're on your way. You guys are doing great. So, okay. But maybe balance out all of this like output with some input, right? So, something restorative. I love a restorative yoga. It's like the perfect thing for my body because I like to like go do all the things, and I've got 5 kids, so I've got a lot of mom this, crying, injuries, carry me, hold me, I'm hungry, food, dinner, all the food, cleaning, all of these physical and emotional demands. Massage, amen, sister. Yes, yoga, movie, perfect. Exactly. So, and just pay attention, like when you get to that point where you're feeling like I'm not doing a good job and I don't think I can handle this anymore, maybe it's just time to like, again, retreat to the room, even if it's just for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just get back to center. And this is like my favorite thing. I talk about this all the time. Get back to center. Get back to your center. So you have some tools, maybe even some, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Koya. It's a type of dancing. It's really amazing. There's just so many tools. Popping in a little meditation music. I really like getting the mind quiet. But really, it's just that belief, right? That you're enough and that you can do this. And that's all it takes. Because I know your commitment level is there. But it's, if you've read The Big Leap, it's what they call the recommitment. And so you just have to recommit to it each time, right? Like each time it gets hard, you're just like up leveling. And just remembering that like you can do this, and calling in support, right? Like for those physical demands. I know you do have some support. I know you use a cleaning service, I believe. We've talked about this before. So feel free to intervene if I'm miss anything here or off. But so calling in support is something that I have really embraced so much this year. We have a nanny twice a week, and I just finally hired a cleaning service. We're having her come weekly because there's 7 people in our house, and that's a lot. So, but do what you can. Maybe it's bringing in, maybe just having like your mom or friend or somebody who can just come in and you can be like a thing, you guys can like hang out and clean your house together, and maybe you guys trade with each other, like get creative, but ask for support. Maybe it's your husband, right? If your kids are old enough, it can be your kids. But you don't have to do it all. And really evaluate, this is something I talk about in my membership, the Chaos to Grace Revolution. I have a simple and spacious schedule, and I really have you evaluate your values. So get really clear on your values as you are creating your business goals, right? And sometimes we see other people and how they're working their business, but that may not be in alignment for our values and staying within our own values or our zone of genius. That's another thing, is like really working in your zone of genius as much as possible is going to alleviate a lot of resistance and friction that you're experiencing in other areas of your life that drain your energy. Kelly says, I need to figure the support thing out. I'm single parenting it now, and I feel like I'm treading water and slowly sinking. Okay, yes. So Kelly, okay, how's your self-care too, Kelly? Because if you are not getting like time by yourself, and I'm talking, you can make time by yourself, even if you're single parenting, but the other thing for you is cultivate community. And this goes for everyone. Cultivate yourself a community and lean on those people. Like, we're not meant to do this by ourselves. This is all like such toxic thinking, and the way that our culture has really like programmed us that we're supposed to be so isolated and not depend on other people and do everything ourselves. So it's not sustainable. It's not healthy. We need other people. That's why they say it takes a village to raise your children. So those are my things. So getting your mind right, self-care. Awesome, Kelly. You walk every morning with a friend. Great. So are there other friends that you could ask to take your kids for a little bit so you can get a break, maybe once a week? Maybe twice a week, even if it's just 2 hours, right? Like who are those people? And if you don't have those people in your life yet, then it's your job to cultivate that community and call them in and use them. And Cheryl, I would say the same for you, because here's the thing. We're not supposed to be everything to our children, because we can't. There's no possible way, right? Even like your partners, right? Like if you have a partner, right? Like I can't meet every single one of his needs, and nor can he meet every single one of mine, because we are each only one person. So that's my other thing, is let other people, meet some of those needs for them, especially those emotional needs. Like, you never know like what a blessing having someone else in their life could be for them, right? Teaching them things that you never could have, because that's just, that's not your zone of genius, but it's theirs. And so just even offering up a little prayer and a little intention. Today's the new moon. It's a perfect time to set these intentions and just be open and to getting some different answers and receiving things from the universe that are showing up for you that are very divinely timed. Okay. And Kelly, that's great if you're walking every morning with your friend. One other thing I would really add for you is if you're not already meditating and getting your mind quiet for a period of time each day, that is one thing I would really encourage for you. And also journaling. I know we've talked privately, and I know some of your situation, I won't say it here, but with what you've been going through with the single parent thing, it's really going to be important for you to have a healthy outlet for those emotions. Yeah. Especially if you're treading water. Sometimes just writing it down in your journal just totally diffuses it. And you're like, okay, I feel so much better now that that's out. And, okay, now I can like keep going and not feel like I'm going to drown, So it might just be that big breath that you need. Okay. I think I covered most of what I was going to say. I'm going to go in and get dinner going. My husband is doing the dishes, thankfully. I love you guys, and feel free to comment on this video if you catch it on the replay, and I'm happy to address it. Okay, love you ladies. Talk to you soon. Mwah, mwah.